Who you play as in the FNAF series has always been integral to the story one way or another. From your Mikes to your Jeremys to your Gregorys. We are only a few days away from Secret of the Mimic releasing, so join me and a bunch of your favourite FNAF creators in theorising who we play as in Secret of the Mimic. To avoid being spring-locked, don't forget to press that like and subscribe button. Lastly, a big thank you to all the creators involved. Their links will be in the description below. Now let's open this can of worms, shall we? So this video will be split into 3 sections. The first will be an explanation of what this video is about. The second will be analysing and reacting to what other FNAF creators think. And the third would be who I think we play as in Secret of the Mimic. Throughout all the FNAF games, the person we play as has always been important. Recently we had Gregory and Cassie, and now we have Secret of the Mimic. That will be the earliest in the timeline we have ever been. This could mean we play as anyone from William or Henry, or just a regular Fazbear employee. That is what we're going to be talking about and theorising in today's video. So first, we're going to list the people who it definitely cannot be. And yes, I know, some of them are going to be very obvious. So, we have Michael, Gregory, Crying Child, Cassie, Jeremy, and of course, David. Most of these people will either be not born yet, very young, or even David's case, dead. So it's 100% cannot be any of them. Unless, you know, time travel becomes canon. Oh, wait. Bullpit. Oh, never mind that statement. So why am I making this video? Like I said in the intro, the person we play as has always been integral to the story one way or another. If that's the overall FNAF story, or just the only game that they're in. For example, we have Michael Afton and Sister Location, the Crying Child in FNAF 4, and recently Cassie and Gregory, where it looks like both of them have a lot more coming up in the story. With all my yapping out the way, let's get into what Exploding Loaf's opinion is on who we play as in Secret of the Mimic. I did also ask 2 more questions, them being how they think Secret of the Mimic will end. And for the funsies, a very weird theory. Now that's all said and done, I do summon thee, Exploding Loaf!
Hello, thank you for having me on, Billy. If anybody doesn't know me, I am Exploding Loaf. I do a series called FNAF Creator Origins, and I also, hopefully by the time this video comes out, should have released a FNAF World documentary style video about the history of the game, blah blah blah. That's not why I'm here. I am here to give my prediction on who I think we will be playing as in Secret of the Mimic. Now, I'm not very caught up on the new FNAF games and any of the lore by it. I am better at the older stuff, basically pre-FNAF World, after Sister Location, around the area, but I'm going to try my best here. So I did a little bit of research into the books, Tales of the Pizzaplex, and where the Mimic was from in Ruin. Now this theory isn't crazy or anything, it could probably be wrong, and it probably is, but if I had to make a prediction of who we play as, I'm going to say we play as one of the technicians who goes in after the books. Now my reasoning for this is because all of the technicians who went in the books did not leave the building. They died there. None of them got out, nobody escaped. Now if I had to guess an ending for this game, I'm going to say we share a similar fate to the technicians who went in the books. There's a chance we escape, but I don't see the Mimic letting us. Now the last thing I'm going to say is completely untrue, but I was told to give a theory of what I thought could happen. So I'm just going to go with what I want to happen, but I know is absolutely not possible and will not happen, and that is we play as William or Henry. That is not going to happen, and it never will, and that's going to make me sad. But hey, it's not my choice, it's Steel Wool's. Anyway, I've gone over my screen time that I was designated. I'll give it back to you, Billy, or whoever's on next. Have a good day, and go and check out my channel, sub to Exploding.
Now honestly, playing as someone that either isn't named or is a technician, from a game standpoint, is honestly a really good idea. For example, if we play as someone like Henry or William, we know they definitely survived the events of Secret of the Mimic. I mean, unless somehow Henry dies and then turns into a robot, and then, yeah. But playing as someone that's a little less important, literally anything could happen to this person by the end of the game. Like yes, playing as one of the owners would be very cool, but it would kind of ruin all the suspense and tension, as we know they don't die. I mean, like I said, unless, you know, Henry turns into a robot. No, let's not get into that, shall we? I do agree, though. I can't see us as one person beating the Mimic. Why would this finely tuned killing machine let us go anyway? A massive thank you to Exploding Loaf. His link will be in the description below. Now let's see what Loto Dots has to say on this topic.
One interesting detail about our player character here is the fact that we never see any actual skin, as whoever we are is fully clothed up, gloves and all. Meaning it could be possible that, well, we're not even human in the first place. In fact, I wholeheartedly believe that we're playing as none other than Chupchu. He's the main character of Cawthon's short film for 2003 titled A Mushnail Tale. Now hold on, I'm not crazy, okay? There are some connections. One concept introduced in Mushnail is something called the Mushalin, a magical totem of some kind that influences other mushrooms to not wander off too far by forcibly retreating them while they're sleeping. This is also connecting everyone in a strange dream world. And inside of Edwin's long abandoned workshop is this funny looking mushroom costume that the Mimic is seen wearing, which was also mentioned in Tales, notably a blue one featured prominently in the trailer and a small plushie of a red one in this office area. The difference prison color is quite interesting, as in the Mushnail series, it's specifically used for different character design traits, like with Chub's friends or even his grandpa. Speaking of which, their grandpa is quite the character, as one of the only things we really know about him is that he's an inventor of some kind, known for building pretty scary looking robots that always seem to take a turn on him. Now, is it possible this weird costume manner we're traveling through is the result of a dream, with our task being not to retrieve the mimic for some comically evil company, but grabbing a spare robot our grandpa possibly needed? Going into this, we also see a costume that resembles the likeness of a character called Seabill, which is featured in Mushnail and more prominently another series called Bird Village. Taking this a step further, a character of the same name is also seen in Chipper and Sons, which features very scary mushroom characters. Is it possible that Chipper was in fact the one who drove the van that hit David? Was Chuck's grandpa the one who actually built the mimic? Is Fun Fungal really William Afton?
You know what, for once, I have no idea what to say. Playing as a mushroom in a FNAF game, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest at this point. Us playing as potentially not a human sounds like a real good idea from a Fazbear Entertainment perspective. You know, with all these people dying at the hands of the Mimic, having a robot that you can control from a safe distance, yes, it'd be slightly more expensive, but it'll definitely get the job done. Just imagine how many times Fazbear Entertainment has been sued just because of the Mimic. I think the twist at the end being us playing as a robot or a non-human would be crazy. A mushroom, however, it's a bit weird, but you know, I'll still be very much down to play as one. I cannot even lie to you, like there's generally no satire there involved. A massive thank you to Loto, and of course his link will be in the description below. Right, so up next we have that one FNAF guy, or TOFG for short.
So in Secret of the Mimic, we see our player character's hand, but it's not revealed who they actually are. And we might not even get the reveal in the game, but I personally believe that this is someone from Team B from Tales of the Pizzaplex, as we see some other dead bodies which are presumably from Team A, so it kinda just makes sense. And I think the game will end with this player character finding the Freddy Fazbear suits that Edwin was developing, and also just deactivating the Mimic. An oddball theory is that I think Jackie's box will be referenced in some way. Scott Cawthon knows about the song, so I think it is possible.
There is definitely a chance that we don't get a reveal for who we play as in the game, Does that make sense? In the game, who we play as in the game? Basically, who we play as in Secret of the Mimic, we might not find out in the game. Yeah? I should really start talking slower. Blimey. Playing as a team member from Team B, again, could work, as those bodies could be from Team A. The one thing is, though, if we are playing as Team B, where's the rest of our team gone? I mean, then again, unless that's our team in the suits. That's quite a good idea, actually. It's a good point. It's a very good point indeed. Saying that though, a multiplayer DLC or game mode just based around 4 people going against a Mimic, that does actually sound quite good. The ending being that we find Freddy Fazbear's suits that Edwin has been making, you know, or some early prototypes, would be very interesting, especially how it would affect the lore going forward. Also, deactivating the Mimic from a story stance makes a lot of sense. Seeing as first time we met the Mimic was in Ruin, it was literally locked in a concrete bunker full of the suits that we see in Secret of the Mimic. So thank you TOFG, his YouTube will be in the description below. Right, so up next we have Underscore. Now this is what I find very curious, that we play as a person that hit David with the van. This would automatically give us a connection to Edwin and the books. It could also be subtle foreshadowing that we killed one of Edwin's children so the other one, e.g. the Mimic, kills us. Now Themes of Fire was shown to us in the first Secret of the Mimic trailer, with the tape catching on fire. Having the costume manor and the Mimic both being set on fire at our own hands would make a great ending, even though the Mimic does definitely survive because, as you know, it's in Ruin. I think if he was going to lure the Mimic, it would have to be the Tiger Rock suit, because you know, book connections and all that. I should really read the book, shouldn't I? Like, I've gone into this video without reading any of the books, but I do agree fire should be involved somewhat in the ending. This theory I do like, since we see a somewhat steampunky version of DJ Music Man. I would like to see this being answered because, you know, we don't really see DJ Music Man until Security Breach, you know, or possibly Edwin could be the creator of the Pizzaplex. I mean, you know, you're just saying. I hope not. I don't know. So a big thank you to Underscore. His link will be in the description below. Up next, we have Terminal Error.
Alright, Secret of the Mimic predictions. Here we go. First, who do I think that we're playing as in this game? Well, currently, I think that we're playing as William due to the fact that the Mexis program looks like a rabbit, and of course, William is associated with rabbits. Not only that, William seems more like the person to be like,
fine, I'll do it myself,
than any other character that we know of so far. I think the game is going to end with William Afton turning on the Mexis program that he slightly modified in order to stop the Mimic so that Fazbear Entertainment could come in and collect all of Edwin Murray's belongings from his factory. After stopping the Mimic, I see 2 possible ways that the story could go after we beat the game, and I'm going to call them the good path and the bad path. The good path is William finding a chip that contains the helper program that also happens to contain the Mimic program. This would show us that the Helper-Mimic hybrid program seems to evolve into the Helpy that we see in Ruin and Help 1 and 2. The bad path, however, is that we know that in order to see the Mex's program, we need to be wearing one of those special masks, and those special masks put a brain chip in your head that allows the Mimic direct access to your brain. Which just leads to me thinking that the only reason that William Afton is bad is because he's being told to be bad by the Mimic.
Us playing as William Afton does make sense. And of course, Mix has taken the form of a rabbit, which as we know is William's signature look, is a big hint. We know especially in the early years, William was not afraid to get his hands dirty. You know, from business partner to, child killer. So having him as the main character would make a lot of sense. Would William go to his location, knowing full well he could be dismembered? William doing this to steal Edwin's belongings from his factory would definitely make a lot of sense, seeing as Dolly Van Earth looks extremely like the Funtime animatronics. Now with these endings, I can't lie, with us getting apparently multiple endings, I would love to see one of these being an ending, or something similar. However, if it comes out that William is evil because the Mimic is mind controlling him, I genuinely think I might just cry. I'm not even joking, that's like a horrific reason. A big thank you to Terminal, and of course his link is in the description below. For our next guest, we have the TNT Muffin.
Secret of the Mimic, I think it was made pretty clear by the PlayStation Store's description of the game that we'll be playing as a Fazbear Entertainment employee. We're going to go into Edwin's costume manor or whatever, and we're going to try to retrieve the Mimic using Mexies. The game, I think, is going to have 2 endings, probably, maybe even more. In Help Wanted 2, we saw Mexies in a van, and I'm pretty sure that same van was seen in the trailer for the game. So I think one of the endings will be us capturing the Mimic using that device. And then my guess for another ending is the place burns down, because that happens in like every FNAF game, basically. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised if that happens again in this one. It might even be that happens, both endings happen, and they're both canon. I could see that for sure. We capture Mexies and he burns down. Don't know for sure, but that's my prediction.
This honestly is a solid theory. Us playing as an employee with Mixus already in the back of the van would answer why Mixus is a rabbit, because William and possibly Henry would have made the program. I do definitely think there would be some fight involved some way or another. Same goes for the Mimic getting captured. Both endings being canon, honestly I'll be open to see. I do think something has to happen to the costume manor to explain why we haven't seen it in other games. Maybe William or someone else sets it on fire to make it look like an accident, to hide the fact that Edwin's possessions have been stolen. A big thank you to TNT Muffin, and may I say, your suit is amazing. His link, of course, will be in the description below. Now, for our final creator, we have Johnny the Night Guard.
A lot of people think the Secret of the Mimic protagonist is Henry or William because it looks like Fazbear is sending us here as a one-man team. And we know that both Henry and William are animatronic geniuses. I kind of doubt this, because why would an owner of a company volunteer to explore a building where 7 of their employees just went missing? The only way I can see us playing as one of the 2 founders is if Henry knows nothing about the Mimic shenanigans and William does, and William is trying to get Henry killed. That's possible, but I think it's more likely that we're a one-man team because Fazbear has become aware of how deadly the Mimic is, and they know they can't get away with losing another multi-man crew. I think the game is going to end with us deactivating and capturing the Mimic, probably using Mexus. I know that's a basic answer, but if this game follows the books, which it looks like it is so far, Fazbear will capture the Mimic, let it loose in a location, and then discontinue it after it causes some disaster. I really hope that disaster isn't the Bite of 83.
Having us play as a tricked Henry would make for an interesting game, although playing as the one-man team would make a lot more sense. Because think about it, all these countless families suing Fazbears for the deaths of Team A and Team B would honestly drain your bank very quickly. Having Mixus be the one to deactivate the Mimic makes the most sense, because I don't see us as a human deactivating the Mimic. Because come on, the Mimic, it just seems like a monster, it is strong. The ending being the Mimic being let loose in a location, potentially with William and Henry thinking they fixed the Mimic, or made safe Mimic endos, just for it to go crazy in a location, and then for it to be deactivated and hidden away, would honestly make for an amazing ending. Thank you so much to Johnny, his links will be in the description below. Now, on to who I think we play as in Secret of the Mimic. For the last couple of months, this one detail has stuck with me from the trailer, that being Dolly the Nurse, and her similarities to the Funtime animatronics. And when you look at who built the Funtime animatronics, it is of course yours truly, William Afton. So my theory is we play as either William Afton or someone who works for Fazbear's and has been paid by William on the sly to steal certain things, including blueprints. My bets are to complete a certain ending, we have to steal blueprints and other things for William's benefit. The one issue is, if we do play as William, is that we know he survives at the end, which like I said earlier, loses all the suspense and tension instantly, because of course we know he survives. It's the fact that Steelwool hasn't even tried to hide the similarities Dolly has to the Fun Times, so I do think that's for a reason. Basically, I think William has more to it than us or Henry knows. I do hope we play as someone that isn't William, but is working for William as well as Fazbear's. This would still keep the tension and suspense, with not knowing what happens to this character, and it will also explain how this person has a Fazbear's van. So in conclusion to my theory, I think we play as either William Afton or most likely a Fazbear's employee that has been asked and paid by William to do a quote-unquote little job, which somewhat involves blueprints for Dolly being taken, leading to the Fun Times being created. So guys, thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, press that like button and subscribe. Everyone's links are in the description below, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!